An important part of the payroll process, particularly for larger employers with any kind of sophistication, is managing the labor process. And I mean specifically the clocking in and the clocking out of not only of hourly workers, but also just the collection of different types of pay for salaried workers. Maybe it's tips, maybe it's bonuses, all the additional parts of the payroll preparation process really stand ready to be streamlined. And we have a terrific integrated time and attendance system that meshes perfectly with our payroll application, and many of our clients use those products in conjunction. I want to give just a brief personal overview of how that system works. On our main website, there's a ton of content in the time and attendance solutions button, particularly if you're interested in some of the hardware issues. The core of our payroll and our timekeeping is all a web-based interface. Think about that as the interstate highway system. There's a lot of different on-ramps of how to get punches and times into that bloodstream, so to speak. We have biometric fingerprint scanners in use by a lot of clients to prevent buddy punching, where we literally press a finger and the print is read and clocked in, clocked out. We have Ethernet cards, like you see here, mounted on walls connected to the internet, where you can get instantaneous beep beep and having people clock in, clock out, and you can see that punch activity online. So there's a lot of information there, but I want to show you the actual specific software, kind of in its native environment. To do that, and any user can also follow some of the same steps I'm doing. From our website, go ahead and click on Supervisor Login. This is where all of our clients come into the system to manage the data. And there's a free demonstration. Now, incidentally, we're so confident in the system and it's got such terrific adoption. We offer a 30-day no-risk, trial. You can try the thing free. So contact that if you'd like to see contact us if you'd like to see your company's real live data in here and actually try the system out. But I'm going to take advantage of the free demo just to show you what some of this information looks like. Very, very simple system. I joke as I train people, you could really absolutely have a middle schooler fluent in managing this product. It's designed to be extremely affordable and efficient and very easy to use. The most important thing I want to go to first is just over here on the employee setup. Let's just take a look at some of the employee information. Now, depending on how a user takes advantage of this, you're either in a standalone situation or you're using it in conjunction with our payroll product, Platinum Pay. Either way, the systems are very connected, and the information starts in payroll and it automatically flows into the time clock system. So our users generally don't have to maintain or don't want to maintain this information, but it's important to know what's here. The information in Card 1, for instance, can be used as a login, log out. So if you don't have clocks on site and you prefer to have people clock in, clock out on their PCs, that's extremely popular. You've got to have a login, you've got to have a password. So this is where we maintain some of that information. Mainly the big value here, though, is just in the ease of reporting and the ease of time clock manipulation or time card manipulation. So let me give you an example of how this is used by managers in the field today. Typically, every morning when someone reports to work, they'll click on reports, and the most popular one is the single day report. And if you click on that, it automatically defaults to the previous day. Now, there's tons of ways in this system to sort and filter, and users, that's very intuitive. I'm just going to go ahead and run the report. The advantage of this is that for your population of people, now, we can have unlimited supervisors. We can have extreme customization. So you could have, we've got some clients with 20 different supervisors, and they can all see a different slice of their staff. You can show them time cards. You can add the ability to not only see the time card of that particular staff, but edit the punches. You can have all kinds of different layers and levels of access. But for the staff that I'm responsible for, okay, when I run the single day report, this is what I'm going to see. I'm just going to see yesterday's punches. The advantage to that is, now this is, in this particular demo, it's capturing a lot of stuff that most clients may not do. Most of the time, 90% of our clients are simply capturing in and out, maybe some lunch adjustments. But at a glance, we typically can notice any problems. If there's missing punches, okay, here's an example of somebody with a missing punch, or something that just doesn't look right, it's going to stand out like a sore thumb. So it's going to be easy for that user to run the report and identify any problems and go after it and clean it up. To do so, we simply go into the time card section. So we can go back to time cards right here, or we can go back to the main menu, which I'll do. There's a lot of different ways to walk from room to room. So I'll click on time cards. It's always going to default me to the current period and show the two previous. And we can also click here and put in, a ton more periods or even a custom date range. It's very powerful. But let's say I wanted to adjust yesterday's time. Okay, as I click on my time cards, again, I'm only seeing the people I'm allowed to see. Okay, it gives me some visual clues. So if there's a punch missing, I'm going to see that highlighted in red. That means there's a brother without a sister. Okay, there's a punch in without a punch out, or vice versa. In the middle of the day, that might be very typical. Everybody may have punched in the morning, and they haven't punched out at the end of the day. But in this case, this is the only guy that I'm seeing with a problem. So I can click right on his name. Now, forgive me, I'm not sure if this test database will allow me to make changes. But this is a very typical example of what a time card might look like. Incidentally, employees, if you give them the permission, can look at this information. They can see all of this stuff online from the privacy of their own home. We can restrict where they can clock in, clock out, okay, so that you can make sure that they can only clock in from inside your building. But in terms of reviewing their time card, they can do that from any browser in the world. This is what they see, nothing more, just this punch. So we share the same functionality there. To fix a punch, this is simply a punch in without a punch out. So to clean that up, we simply click on the Edit button, and then down here, and again, I'm probably not going to have any permission to edit, we'd simply go into the timeout and put in the time. This is a very flexible system. I like to type for speed purposes in military time, so I could type 1700, hit enter, or there's typically a save button here, and then boom, voila, my punch is fixed, and this time card is totally correct. That's half of the cleanup that you do. The other half would be, hey, there needs to be a punch in there that's not in there today. So maybe Monday 9/12, this gentleman was sick, and I needed to account for that. It's my responsibility to put those hours on the time card. In that case, there's no punch to edit. I need to actually create the punch, and I do so by clicking on the hyperlink of the day. This is totally customized to each particular client of ours, and it maps directly to the type of pay in the payroll system. These things are absolutely intertwined. So I'd pick the type of pay. I could decide to put punches, but in this particular case, there's not really a punch in and out. There might just be hours only. And maybe I just want to put 8 hours in there and hit save and be done. Okay? Pops it right on the time card, and everything is beautiful. We have a lot of clients, country clubs, restaurants that use this for gratuities. You absolutely do not have to have this limited to just your hourly staff. A lot of clients will use this and give responsibility to their managers or their controller they'll put the salary people in here and they'll put their PTO that way. Or if you've got commissions or bonuses, they'll put it in that way. Any additional type of pay for a salary person who might not even know they're in a time clock system, they might be maintained in there, and maybe we go in and just put dollars amounts, and that's how we stick the mileage on there. So the beautiful part of the time clock system is that you can put every single piece of pay that you'd like to eventually see in the payroll system upstream, okay, in the time clock system, and it can all flow down. It makes it very easy to share the responsibility of accumulating payroll. It makes payroll day extremely efficient and easy because we're maintaining and scrubbing and cleaning the data as we go along. To finish up this demo, when we get to the end of the period, another common report that's used, I'll click on reports, is the summary report. Again, tons of different ways to sort and filter, and we can click on a variety of different pay periods. But when we're about ready to create payroll, we'll run that report, and we'll get a perfect summary of everything that exists. Overtime is automatically calculated. Obviously, any rounding rule that your organization has can be incorporated. We can turn on auto lunches. So, for instance, after a certain amount of hours on the clock, we can decrement a certain amount of minutes. That can be changed down to the individual employee. Any functionality or customization that you can dream of, we can round. We can do all kinds of custom scripts, and we're doing that for a lot of clients today. It really makes it a beautiful synergy of timekeeping and payroll data. But at the end of the day, you'll get to a comfort level that everything is perfectly accurate. And at that point in time, it depends on if you're a self-service user and you're building and having all control over your payroll, this information imports directly into the payroll system and saves all of that time entering and keying. Or if you're a standalone client, you might just notify us that the hours are perfect and we'll handle the behind-the-scenes auditing and importing ourselves. But that's it. I mean, it's a terrifically simple and powerful product that, particularly when used in conjunction with the payroll system, really makes a tremendous combination.